Talk about Photopea. Photopea is an online free application that we are going to use for manipulating pixel information. Photopea is a raster-based program, which means that it deals with pixels. With this free software, though, you kind of get ads that go along with it. So I'm going to move my ads out of the way. And now I have more room to work without the ads being distracting. You may have to do this if you want. I'm going to go ahead and start a new project. And as we start a new project, I'm going to kind of walk us through what is important and remind us what we talked about during class. So whenever we get a new project, we need to define our canvas area. Our canvas area is defined in pixels, but we can also change that unit to percentages, millimeters, and inches. We're going to stay in pixels for quite a while we learn this program's nuances. Width and height are important in pixels, and generally we'll be working around the 1,000 pixel range as we work through exercises. Important number, DPI, dots per inch or pixels per inch, remain and should always be remembered as 72 whenever we work with exercises and 300 whenever we work with projects. I will constantly remind you of these numbers, but it's something that I want you to keep in mind always. Let's go ahead and create this file just so we can move along here. And as you can see, we have our new file that is 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels. We have our panels. We have our panels on the right side. We have our ruler that goes across and down on this side. We have the name of our file. The name of our file here, notice that it's given the extension of PSD. That stands for Photoshop document. That means that everything we can create in Photopea, we can also open up in Photoshop and vice versa. If you have a copy of Photoshop, you can work along with us. If you prefer to use Photoshop, that is fine too. A lot of the same tools. There might be some different names here and there, but it will be the same type of work. So how do we make sure that we are working in the correct resolution? Well, I mentioned that 72 and 300 DPI are important. I can go up here to image, and kind of click down to image size and click there, and there is my image size information. This is probably the most important menu that you'll view. Here I can double check that I indeed have 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels at 72 DPI. A lot of exercises that we do at first will be exactly this size, so get used to typing in this kind of range. Of course, during an exercise, I will give you that information. I'm going to hit OK because we're not going to change anything. Now, let's pay attention to what kind of tools we have active over here on the left side. The first tool, the most important tool, is the Move tool. With the Move tool, we can select things. We can also move things around. So just keep that in mind, the Move tool. So it looks like a little arrow, a little cursor with cardinal directions, north, south, east, and right, or up, down, left, right, a Move tool. We have with every tool or any tool that is selected as we go down, notice how this options bar changes. Notice that as I go through the different tools. Now, we will get to some of these, not all of these this year, but we're going to try to cover a lot of them as we go through. And I just wanted to call your attention that this options bar changes as we select different tools. There is a menu bar up here, and which has a lot of the same types of menu names that you're used to seeing: file, edit, and then some that you're not used to seeing, like filter and select. We're going to use these throughout the year. We're also going to use shortcuts, a lot of shortcuts in class that I'll call your attention to. Shortcuts are great to use, and whenever I use one, I'll try to put them up listed in the video, and I'll try to name them as we go through each exercise and project.